Hello and welcome as trains go whizzing past. Welcome to Transport Fever, the one hub Let's Play Speed Build series. And as you've watched the last episode, I hope you watched the last episode because you will have heard me say that the series is concluding. That's it. I think the series is done, so what we're doing today is having a look at where we've come in over 100 years of history here in Monument Valley. We started the game in 1900. It is now February 2018 and our city has grown considerably. Now stands at a population of over 4,700. If you remember from the very first episode, we had hoped, or the intention was to try and reach a population of 5, 10, 50,000 people, as many as we could. I think we were trying to aim for 10,000. But the limitations of the game might be my gameplay style as well. Maybe I didn't do it well enough. But more importantly, I think as far as we're concerned here, the simple inability of my computer to cope with that many citizens has meant that we're going to have to bring the series to a stop at this level. I think, however, that 4,700 plus citizens in this one city is quite an achievement nonetheless. In fact, if we look at the charts for a whole map, we're talking there, I think, pretty much 50,000 people across the whole map, which is quite impressive. And this is not a super large, experimental, huge map. There's quite a few cities here, and they've all grown very nicely indeed. But, yeah, that's where we are. So what we're looking at here, we're just having a final look at our huge city. The metropolis it has come to be. 3 train stations, one of which is underground, which we just saw there, all the trains entering and exiting from. We have a second station over here, the south side, which also serves as a connection point to our airport. The map doesn't really give itself to airline routes, and this one has been successful over the years. But now, as I've added more and more train services to the other end of the map, it's making significantly less money. It was gone down from 6 million to 100k or so. Not so good. But there you are, it lasted for a while. It was good for a while. We have, in addition to the South Side Station, we also added a new station over here, the Newtown district of our city, and that's servicing all the cities over that end of the map there over the horizon, in the dust and the dirt, the murk. Actually, you shouldn't have any murk in a desert environment, should you? No, I'm being silly. Yeah, over there in the underneath the clouds. And one very large bus station servicing a whole host of cities. In fact, if we look at our route map, so these are all the train lines we've got. Must be a dozen train lines, passenger train lines, and a couple of freight lines going through the city here. Yeah, we've got 6 stations, 6 terminals there. We've got 8 there. We've got another 3, 4 routes coming into the South Side Station, and of course interconnecting commuter service which connects by train each of those 3 stations. That's in addition to all the bus and tram routes within the city. Yeah, so we've got 2 commercial routes, 2 truck cargo routes within the city. All the rest is bus routes within the city, or in fact a couple of, though these are bus routes, aren't they? As well as connecting services out to other cities. There's one over there to Horse Pasture, and all the, what I call the mega bus routes, the intercity bus routes, which are centred here around our large bus station terminal place. And we have one small industry here which is kind of sat doing nothing because I can't delete it. But there you are. And of course there's trams in the city as well. So what we're going to do, I've recorded a couple of flyovers which hopefully will give you a flavour of how the city has developed over the years. In addition to all the number crunching and the stats, I'll show you representations of those, and a couple of other shots of the city as it's grown over the years. As I say, since starting in 1900, our little desert town here in Monument Valley has grown into this huge metropolis of Oljeto-Monument Valley. But before I go and do that, before I hand over to, I'll probably leave that as mostly soundtracked. I'll stop talking shortly and let you enjoy the flyovers and so on without me getting in the way. I wanted to have a quick look at a couple of lines in particular. If we come down here, which are these, what am I looking at here? I had this all prepared, you know. There's one. Okay, in honour of a couple of subscribers who have been with me throughout this series and have contributed ideas and suggestions into the game, which I'm very grateful for. Let's leave that one for the moment. We'll come back to that, but the one I do want to get to is down here. Where is it? The Phosphorus Express. I think the very first comments on the very first video were from Mr. Phosphorek, and he has a thing with phosphorus, strangely enough, and we've named this really high-speed dynamic express route in honour of him. So it's just the train. The route itself is just called Oljeto-Monument, Oljeto Stagecoach Wash, which goes into our third station in Oljeto-Monument Valley, into Newtown. And as you can see, that train itself is quite profitable. I mean, in certain years, in good years, it earns 8 million. That's pretty impressive. Otherwise, a mere 3 or 4 million, that's fine. And the route itself, that's done very nicely. Yeah, 12 million, 17 million. Yeah, that's quite good. I'm happy with those sort of numbers. And I haven't kept entirely, as you know, to the American model because I didn't find all the trains I wanted to use. The Americans don't seem to do big, fast passenger trains, so I've employed a few foreigners into the map, including this fabulous Shinkansen model from Japan. Another contributor to the series has been Danishi Marquez, and he offered, I'm going to assume you're a person of the masculine gender, a line, the Desert Conqueror, which takes passengers. This is one of our earliest, biggest lines from our hub of Oljeto-Monument Valley all the way out here to Big Hogan, which is a hub station in its own right, sat in the middle of almost nowhere, connecting up the towns in this far corner of the map. And the Desert Conqueror line, again, it's running these, where is that? That's underground. Have we got a train nearby to where we are? I have no idea. Probably not. Should we follow this one anyway? Oh, there's two of them. There they go. That's coming into Big Hogan up here, so we'll sit here by the station, shall we? That's it. And that has been a ridiculously profitable line. I mean, what can you say when you've got a line that is earning, in a bad year, $29 million? Excellent work. Thank you, all you lovely passengers, all you lovely train drivers, you engineers, you mechanics. You've made me a very rich tycoon indeed. And a couple of other trains from Danishi, and they are here. Just call them up, see how well they're doing. One of the earlier ones that was suggested. Look at the throaty noise of that diesel engine. Yeah, that does sound like a proper big masculine. It's a real man's engine, isn't it? I really should not be using these gendered terms, really, should I? But that is a powerful locomotive. Yeah, so here on the oil route, which we set up fairly early on in the series, we've got the Dino burner, or Dino burner, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And that train, yeah, in a good year, nearly 6 million. This year, it's coming to almost the end of the year, we're going to be pretty much the same sort of figure. Already 4.5 million in profit. Excellent work. And finally, of the particularly sort of contributor named vehicles, they have the Imperial Express, which I named because it was on one of my more bizarre routes. We have a small town out here, Coomridge, which is one of the last towns we connected. It's actually grown quite well by the look of it. If I click on the name, it tells me. Yeah, it's grown from 200 in the last few years to over 900 people. In part due to the link it's got from the Big Hogan. Where's Big Hogan? Yeah, I'm losing my place around the map. Yeah, so there were sort of connections between these towns around the edge of the map here. So it's grown. But I'd like to think the Imperial Express and its fellow vehicles on the on this Kayenta run. Initially, this line, if you remember, it was set up quite recently, was just running between Kayenta here and Coomridge. It's a ridiculous line, two small towns out on the edge. It wasn't going to make money, and as you can see, it didn't. So what we did in a more recent episode is we actually had it connecting to our hub city of Oljeto-Monument Valley, and all of a sudden it makes money. So the Imperial Express is bringing in a royal sum to my coffers of nearly 9 million last year. Excellent work. So that's it. If there's anything in particular on the map you would like to see for me to have a look at, or to fly over, or to peek around, just drop a note into the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you on your thoughts as to the success of this particular series, or things that we should have done better. Or as I said, if there's anything in particular you would like to see as a part of the review of this series, then just drop a note into the comments box below. So I'm going to hand over now, as I usually do in this series, to the soundtrack, except it's not going to be a particularly speed buildy thing. It's going to be a review, a couple of flyovers, some data for you to be awed at. Data can be awesome, I suppose. Some of these figures you'll see when you see the figures. Whether you're in awe or not, I'll leave that up to you. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me throughout this series. It has been a blast. I've really enjoyed trying to develop this city and trying all sorts of novel things to try and get this city to grow, mostly successfully. And I just love a city of this scale. So thank you for that. If you've enjoyed the series or just this video, a thumbs up, a little bit of a like would be very much appreciated. It'd be great to see that on the video, and it might encourage me to do more of these. I'm going to anyway, just to let you know. Yeah, once Transport Fever 2 comes out, there's going to be a lot more Transport Fevering going on. Don't worry about that. And of course, if you've not already done so, you can subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll know when I upload one of these or any of my other Let's Play series. But from me, Ajaxpost, thank you so much for your company today and throughout this series. Enjoy the review that's coming up now, and I'll see you again soon. Until then though, bye bye for now.